Hi, I'm Barb Wheel of Barb's Wheel of Fortune, and I wanted to talk today about nurses and whatever other subjects come up. And I wanted to just thank nurses, and I wanted to have a look at a focus on what nurses are. Certainly nurses do a lot of administration work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of filing, and all the necessary things to keep patients' records organized and accurate, and then they look after the patients, which is the most important part of nursing. Not all nurses do this. Some go out in communities, some well, I don't know all the aspects of nursing. So my mother was a nurse and midwife when she was young, and she worked in England. That's where she trained, and she delivered 21 babies before coming to Canada. Canada didn't have midwives at the time, so she worked in the hospital in the nursery, and then she had 5 babies of her own. So that ended her nursing career. She was just too busy. Now, nurses. When my great aunt was a nurse in New York City, nurses weren't even allowed to get married. Once you got married, that's it. You can no longer be a nurse. So she never got married. She became a numerologist as well as a nurse. A lot of nurses become Reiki healers, or like they find spiritual healing outlets that are not, in the straight and narrow of being a nurse. And I find that very interesting. Well, not all nurses. I just wanted to thank nurses. I'm thinking of all the nurses that worked through COVID, and the burden that was upon them there. And I'm thinking also of the nurses that stayed in the Ukraine during this war, and all the hospitals that got bombed, and all the children's hospitals, and all the nurses that were probably lost in this war. My great aunts on the other side of my family were also nurses in a war. They were in World War II. They worked on the British hospital ships. It's funny that necessity gives you the strength to do the hardest jobs, and I think nursing is one of the hardest jobs. So I just want to pull a few cards on that. Pull a few cards on tribute to nurses. And God bless all the nurses. God bless the nurses that have burnt out and are leaving the profession. I don't blame them. I really hope that nurses get more money. More money. They deserve more money. They deserve money. I keep getting this money card. They deserve money. They deserve budget. They deserve promotions. They deserve respect. How are we gonna attract more nurses? I keep counting the money. Yeah. How do we attract more nurses to the profession? Is money, but also I don't believe that anyone can become a nurse. I couldn't become a nurse. My mother would love that, but it was not in my nature. I certainly didn't have the math for it. Not everyone can become a nurse, but we need to respect nurses before it's too late. I mean, what, can we replace them with robots? No. Well, in some aspects, maybe. It's like distributing pills, maybe. But not they're the human touch. They're the ones that hold the hand of the man that's dying. During COVID times, no visitors were allowed. And a lot of people died with only the medical staff to hopefully hold their hand. My father almost died alone. But there was so little staff in the nursing home that they let my brothers visit. They let my sister visit, and he didn't die alone. And the staff was kind of grateful because they just didn't have the people to help him. And my mother died in hospital too, but I was there. My brother was there, and we and my sisters, we all took turns being by her side, and the nursing staff was fantastic. It was also palliative care. Nursing staff was fantastic. When my late boyfriend was dying, he was in a palliative care home, an excellent palliative care home. We were there for him. But the nursing staff also was excellent. They had music programs, and they had really good food, and they had, which is very important in the end, because if that's the only pleasure you can have, listening to music and eating good food, if you can eat. Very important. And that's part of nursing. That's part of care. Yes, doctors, of course, get credit too, but I'm just focused on nurses, if you don't mind. And so yeah, the only cards I've really been getting have been cards of money. Like, we need to put money into training nurses, and we need to put money into rewarding nurses. And that's just the bottom line. Society, we've got to put our money where our values are. Nurses are very valuable, and that's I think all I want to say about nursing. I'm thinking of making a painting. I drew a preliminary sketch of a nurse, and I want to do a painting because I'm supposed to do my joy, do the things I'm inspired to do, the joy. I'm still working on my joy and harmony and peace, and so that's what I'm going to do as soon as I find my paints. They're around here somewhere. So joy and peace and harmony be with you. And I'm recording this on Easter, so happy Easter and happy spring. And you take care of you, and subscribe if you would like. Thank you.